Heads up. If you have kids around,
parental advisory is in effect.
This is the Bonus Bone Podcast with Lamont and Tonelli.
It's like water torture.
Baby Huey.
Shasta.
And Joe Hawk.
Welcome, friends, back to the Bonus Bone Podcast. We got the whole Bone gang going on. Shasta, Lamont, and Tonelli, Baby Huey, and Joe Hawk.
Hey.
So yesterday was Valentine's Day, and so we decided we're going to tell our worst breakup stories today.
No, let me say you decided we're telling worst breakup stories.
I did. Oh, did I tell you that a listener got upset with me the other day because I was saying I hate Valentine's Day?
What?
They were like, but you're all about love.
I've been making fun of you for hating Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
It's
it's you.
made-up holiday. Yeah, it's my fault, probably.
He's anonymously texting on the phone text like, they were like, you're all about love. And I said, yes, I am. And I tell the people in my family and the ones that I love, you guys, all the time.
Right.
Not on the day that
you
I'm
say
expected
love.
to, right?
Right. It's not forced love.
It's not forced love. I feel
there
understood.
you go.
Thank you very much. So we're telling horror stories today. Horror, not horror stories. But, you know,
mine involves both.
I broke up with a whore once.
So we're starting with Paul Tonelli on that note. Give us.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Give us your worst.
Well, I don't know how bad it is, but it was kind of abrupt.
Okay.
I was in college and had a girlfriend away, an out-of-town relationship, because I was in school at the time, out of state in Idaho.
When you were in Idaho, yes.
For about a 9-year career. No, actually, I was in Idaho for 3 years.
Okay.
Only went to school for like a year and a half. Anyway, was dating this gal.
He's overachiever.
And I broke up with her, moving back to the Bay Area.
I mean,
And
that kind of makes sense.
figured that was a clean cut.
Yeah, of course.
Good way to do it. Better than ghosting.
Yeah.
Although it was kind of a travel ghost.
It was a traveling.
I used moving back to the Bay Area to ghost her, I guess. She moved back here.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
She moved here to be with you?
I know, right? So we dated for a little while when she got here. I was like, all right, let's give it a shot. And it wasn't really working out. And she really didn't want to end things. So we had a
She
conversation
moved here
one
for
day.
you.
She did.
Yes.
So after about 6 months, I just was like, this is not what I had in mind. And we were talking, and I was breaking up, and she wasn't taking no for an answer. And I said, well, I guess it's because I never really loved you.
This is after you tried ghosting her.
Yeah.
It's not too often I take up for Tonelli in the love department. But I will say, sometimes you just got to speak frankly, because some people just won't hear anything until you do it like that.
I had to rip the Band-Aid off. Yeah, I will never forget that phrase.
Okay.
And when I said
when
it.
you said that to her, I've got a question.
Yeah, there was a lot of silence.
When you said that, what did she do?
I never really imagined myself saying anything like that. But,
Right.
yeah, she started crying. Yeah, it was,
And then what'd you do?
Well, I would hope so.
I can't even remember.
He's
He
blocked
went
it out.
drinking.
Oh, you know that's the case.
Yeah,
He's blocked
that was
it
a
out.
phrase that I will never forget.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was right out of a soap opera kind of a thing.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I just got gut punched.
Yeah.
That's a good one to start with. Have you ever
That's a
talked to
good
her
one to
after?
start with.
So
no.
nonchalant.
No, you've never talked to her
no,
again.
no.
That was it. Well, it worked.
Do you have her number? Maybe we could call her on the air.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, we have a surprise guest today. All right, Joe, your turn.
Oh God, I love the fact that I have to relive this. But
I know.
I actually, just thinking about it, I have two. I'll make the first one quick. It was back in college. I was it my sophomore year or my second junior year?
Nobody cares. Move on.
But
Love you.
it was my first girlfriend in college. We were together for 2 years, and the part that sucks about this is that when she broke up with me, just like with Paul, she said for about 6 months I just fell out of love with you. Ew. That's the part that really sucked.
Yeah, that
She
hurts.
said that to you.
Yes, she did.
Ouch.
And then what really was
Yeah, it hurts, doesn't it, today?
Yeah. What was
That's why Joe started crying when you told your story.
on the inside.
Yes.
But what was kind of ironic is that my best friend, who we share birthday, and we were fraternity brothers and pledge brothers. His girlfriend of the same amount of time, broke up with him that same day.
Oh, really? Wow.
And we just turned 21 that summer, so I was like, hey, let's go to the bars.
Holy Lord.
Now, you see, that could have really taken a great twist if the two girls would have got back together in front of you. I was thinking, I like where this one's going.
Of course you take that.
A quick flip-flop. But the one that really sticks out in my mind, it was when I was still an intern here. It was 2000.
I remember this girl.
2014, I believe. It was a week before Bone Bash. And I was living with my girlfriend at the time. And after a year of living with her, our lease was up in the apartment that we have. This is before the breakup. We decided, because, we still want to live together, we decided to move in with her dad down in San Jose. So
that's never a good idea.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Yeah. No, I really appreciate her dad taking me in. He is a great guy. But it came down to it, like, same thing. A few months later, we literally did not have sex for about a year and a half or so.
You might as well have been married.
Good thing my wife doesn't hear this.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's unpack that.
Yeah.
For a year and a half, you didn't have sex with this girl?
Yeah, when we were living together.
Were you faithful?
Yeah.
Wow.
This would have been
I'm impressed.
I would have thought if you're dating a girl and she's not having sex with you after having sex with you, that's kind of a red light.
Oh, yeah. And then,
you think?
I would think after a month.
Something might be wrong there.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. All right.
So then, it comes down to it. It's like we were having an argument, and this is the part that really sucks. I basically said, like, what, do you want to just break up? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh. Well,
okay.
crap. So then,
she made it your idea.
Yeah,
oh
she
my
did.
God, that's true.
So then the next day I come to work, Huey, you remember I was really in a real crappy mood. Mm-hmm. And then the funny part is that, Lamont, you came in because you're like, hey, Joe, you want to go to see Santana? You can take your girlfriend. I'm like, what girlfriend?
Oh, no.
And like,
nice gut punch.
And then you just like, well, bye. But then, I called my parents up, and they're asking me because I was supposed to go on a little weekend getaway with her parents and family. It's like, so I want to talk to you about the whole scheduling. Like, when you're leaving, like, well, that's not happening. We broke up. Like, well, what's the plan? I'm like, can I move back home, please?
Oh, honey.
It's like, of course, honey. Well, let's start planning on getting your stuff back to our house and stuff like that. So.
But we all know you're lovely bride now, and it was all good.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Everything works out for the best.
And you have your baby Jack.
It was just funny to think that, because when you came up with the idea to do breakups,
everyone's
I was like,
blaming me.
Yeah, of course. Because you guys remember at my wedding, except for Paul, who wasn't there.
He's not holding that against you, Paul.
My dad straight up said, like, Joe used to bring home a lot of strays.
Oh,
so I was like,
remember
I have
that.
list of girlfriends after girlfriends. So it's like,
Yeah.
But that one, because I was living with her at her dad's house.
Yeah, that's brutal.
That brings it to the next level.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know if we're going to get darker. We probably will. Huey, your turn.
So a few years ago, I was dating this one girl.
I remember this girl, right? Is this the one I'm thinking about?
Was she human?
Yes. AI.
AI, yes.
No.
We're trying to read minds.
I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah.
Did she have glasses?
If she was human?
Yeah.
No, wait.
Anyway, move on.
I was dating her, and she would just
You're
constantly...
starting to blush already. Talking about this story.
She would constantly text me during the morning, and I would respond at first, but then after a while, I was like, I'm busy. I can't talk.
And I kept
I'm working.
on telling you, hey, start working. Stop texting all day.
It's like, I'm busy. And then eventually what freaked me out was she said, I like it when my man checks in with me all day.
Ooh.
And I was like, whoa. I ain't got time for that.
Psycho.
Yeah, it's like, no, hey, like, I'm working. You don't need to worry about me, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so I try to do my best ghosting. So.
You ghosted someone?
Wow.
I thought that only happened the other way around.
Oh, my God. Our baby Huey's growing up.
He learned from the best. So.
Years of experience. But then she kept, and then over time, it took her, I think, a while to get a hint, but she would like say, hey, what are you doing? You want to meet up? And I would not respond. And then like the text would get a little more aggressive.
What was the worst text she sent you?
It's like,
Did you want to cut your balls off or something?
No. Someone did pull a knife on me once.
Whoa!
Wait,
You
a
got a
girlfriend?
story where someone pulled a knife on you and you don't lead with that one?
That's the story.
We don't know that one?
Come on.
Oh,
Because that person led to some really bad friendship issues.
You think?
I would say when you pull a knife on someone, that would be it.
I think I was like 18 or 19.
Oh, my God.
So I went to her place or her parents' house, whatever,
Yeah.
and we were watching Lord of the Rings. That's why I never
dear
can watch
God.
Lord of the Rings because it just
just bad.
flashbacks.
Yeah.
But she was trying to be playful. We were in the kitchen and she pulled a knife out and she was like being playful coming at me. And I was like, what are you doing? Put the knife down.
Oh, that's weird.
And she kept coming at me like, I was like, this is nuts. Is this some weird foreplay? I'm not into this.
Right.
And so I told her, like, I finally had to grab it from her and to, like, cut it out. So,
Pun intended.
but yeah, she was weird. Like, kept coming at it with me with the knife. I was like, this is not funny.
Was that
It's the only
last
time she came.
Yeah.
I thought you'd take a stab at it.
So no,
my God.
And yeah, anyway, that led to some other just,
Did
issues.
you break it with her or did she break it with you?
We just kind of went our separate ways. I mean, like, there's really some other bad friend
Well,
issues.
no. There's no such thing as separate ways. One person makes the decision.
Yeah, I mean,
Journey?
We got a lot of these songs here. Cuts like a knife,
I know.
separate ways.
Oh my God.
no, I mean, I think after that, I kind of knew, like, okay, I'm not going to spend time with her. So I ended it.
Probably
So you ended
good.
that one.
Yeah, good idea.
That's a good idea.
Alone and naturally.
Yeah.
So we learned.
Now this brings up a whole other subject that I want to touch on here. Has anyone else? Because I had a girl on a first date. I
Pull a
was at
knife
her
on you?
apartment. No, she pulled a gun out.
Wow.
Yeah, and it
That's
was
taking
foreplay.
it to another
It
level.
was foreplay to her.
Foreplay?
And we were sitting there in her apartment, and we were watching TV, and I'm thinking, oh, man, I am going to get lucky.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, she goes, hold on, I want to go and get something. And I'm thinking, oh, my God,
yeah.
what is she going to
Oh,
go
yeah.
and get? This girl is kinky. And all of a sudden, she walked out. It looked like a little box of, like a marble box, like a jewelry box.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, I can't wait to see what this is. She opened it up, and it was a silver freaking pistol. And she goes, yeah, I just want to show you this. This is my favorite.
She's doing like a Russian roulette. move?
Right. And I'm thinking, oh, my God. By the way, I'd never seen a gun before in my life.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh, my God, this girl is freaking crazy.
I have to imagine if you had even a quarter chub, it went away really quickly.
Oh, no, I still boned her. But then I left. And then I
Smart
ghosted
man.
her.
I bet.
Yeah.
See, that was the good old days when you could ghost before ghosting was a thing.
Yes.
Like, you could actually
With no
ghost.
social media and
That's the
Self,
thing.
or you
Yeah.
could really
Cell
hide.
phones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Well, I was tough to hide. She knew where I worked.
Yeah, when you're on the radio, it
Yeah.
makes it even tougher.
Yeah.
Okay, so my breakup story involved. Were you done?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
alive.
Yeah. I know, right? Headline is Huey, but we learned something today. Huey has ghosted, and I'm kind
Yes.
of almost proud of you on that.
I
To be
am too.
honest, seriously.
Yeah.
So mine is kind of feels karmic because I was the queen of ghosting before ghosting was a thing. Back in
Casper.
back in the late 90s, early 2000s. If I didn't like a dude, I would just disappear. You would just never see or hear from me again. Can't do that anymore. So fast forward to I'm coming out of college. I get married. This is my divorce story. This is a big one.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
A lot of people don't even realize that I was married previous to
Right.
my current husband, but I was. We were very young, and I want to put a disclaimer on the beginning of this story because it ends really, really bad.
How young were you when you got married?
21.
Oh,
I had just turned 21 a week before that.
right.
And my husband at the time was the same age. So we were babies and we got married and then we literally a month later got in a car and drove to Hollywood and moved. So there was a lot of activity in our lives. He was also in radio. One of the best jocks I've ever known. So here's my disclaimer. He is an incredible human being now.
Now he is.
Now, as a 40-year-old man, great human, love him. I talked to him yesterday.
That
We're dear
amazes
friends.
me.
It's going to amaze you even more when you hear this story. So he and I were, we were married and we were kind of going through some rocky stuff, but not terrible. We never fought. We were best friends who basically lived together. The sex thing was also a little empty, not a year and a half,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
but really hot and heavy in the beginning. And then we just sort of became roommates. So one day he came to me and he was like, hey, we're having some trouble. I think I'm going to go home for a little while and like kind of try to work out my mental, thoughts. And he wasn't feeling happy in LA. He didn't really get the vibe. I was thriving there. So I was like, all right, well, we'll figure it out. Okay. So it wasn't a huge fight, but it was a little bit of a moment. So we get through that evening. I go to the grocery store at about 11 o'clock at night to get dog food for my dogs. I'm gone all of 20 minutes. I come home and my apartment is cleared out.
Whoa.
He took everything?
He took
Holy smokes.
everything. I mean, not my personal stuff, but I didn't know. So I was living with Gianna, my best friend, who's still my best friend to this day. I walk in and she's on the phone and I go back to my bedroom and I feed the dogs and then I realize, I'm like, where is he? And so I had this sinking feeling and I go and I open our closet door and his entire side of the closet is empty.
Wow.
And I was
That's
like,
incredible.
Holy shit. I mean, first of all, it had to be premeditated.
Yeah.
Because you can't, in 15 minutes, you can't do that without knowing what you're going to do.
Right.
And so I run back into Gianna. I'm like, where is he? And she goes, oh, I saw him loading his car with some stuff, but I didn't know what was going on. Yeah. And he was out of there. And so what makes matters worse is he took my wedding ring on the way out.
Oh.
Of which I'm 99% sure he pawned to get gas money to get home.
Right.
And I never heard from him again for months and months and months. Like, I couldn't get a hold of him.
He ghosted you.
He ghost divorced me until we had to file taxes. And then I didn't know how to file because I was technically married.
Yeah.
And so I had to call his parents and go, I need to know what's happening.
Yeah.
And so I said, all right, I'm going to fly home. This is a really bad decision. I'm going to fly home and we're going to do this in person. If we're getting a divorce, it needs to be face to face.
Yeah.
So I did that and I showed up at his apartment. His new girlfriend was there.
Oh, he had another girlfriend.
Who he ended up marrying.
Okay, but still.
Who became his second wife.
Yeah.
He's now with his third wife.
Oh.
I just want to say, I love you, Jamie. You know that. I'm just telling the story hasn't played out, all right? I have no qualms with him anymore.
Hold on. I've got to go back to a question here. Yeah. So in how many months was he living with another woman?
Yeah.
Oh, he left on March 26th. I went home on...
Do you have the time?
Well, you're going to feel like an asshole when I answer that question. I went home on like May 20th because my dad died 10 days later.
Oh, right.
And that was the silver lining was because I made that choice to go home to end my marriage.
You saw your dad.
I saw my dad for the last time.
But here's the
blessing in disguise.
Here's the deal. Within 6 weeks, he found another woman to live with?
Well, then I went crazy.
Yes.
And I started digging. Yeah. Gianna and I started digging back into our phone records. You know, when you used to get your bill and you could go through.
So did you go regular crazy or Oklahoma crazy?
I went kind of Oklahoma crazy. I went through and highlighted all the numbers.
What is the craziest thing you did? That's what I want to know. I'm
not really that crazy, but I went through and highlighted all the numbers and I started calling to figure out what was going on and who he had been talking to for hours. And I found out who it was. Okay. And it was a girl that used to date his brother. And they were, I think, even engaged at one point. He had connected with her on MySpace. And MySpace days, and
what
they had sparked up they had sparked up a relationship, and that was all it, and that was it. And so we got divorced, and then much later on, he called, apologized, we made up, and he and I are very close friends now.
Wow!
So,
now you're with Jay.
That is a good one.
And he and Jay are friends. Like Jay knows him. He called me and Jay on Jay and my wedding day, and was like, love you guys. Take care of her. She's, you know how great she is. Like, all is well.
You are a bigger person than I. You are a bigger person than I.
A lot of people say that.
So the craziest thing you did is just call these people.
I called them, pretty obsessive.
Right.
I went through every phone number. It was pages.
Because my breakup involved someone throwing plates at me.
Oh. Well, I have breakup stories involving people with stuff like that. Not that I did, but go ahead.
One of my breakups.
Yeah.
I'd been dating a gal for a while, and she just went crazy because she goes, I want to get married. And I go, I'm not ready to get married right now.
How long had you been with her?
A couple of years.
Okay.
But I knew I probably was never going to marry her.
Right.
And she goes, I demand that I want a ring, and she had already picked the ring out, and it was like a ring at Tiffany's worth about $25,000.
Oh, wow.
And I go, I am not in any position to buy a ring that expensive, nor would I probably pay that for a ring.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I started having plates flung at me.
Oh, my God.
And these were my plates. And I'm cheap. So I go, I don't think this is going to work.
Yeah.
So then she went, we didn't live together. She went back to her house, and then the next day, I got a call from her mother with her on the phone.
Oh, God.
And her mother started yelling at me on the phone that she was going to sue me.
Oh, what?
For misleading her daughter.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a thing? Can you even do that?
And then I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, I'll tell you what, you fat horse. Get off the phone because I didn't intend on calling you. And that was pretty much the nail in the coffin for that relationship.
I would imagine so.
Yes. So,
yeah, I mean, she could have taken your head off with that one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A guy, I told you guys about the guy who stabbed the walls at the frat party. I told you that, right?
No. This is a good one.
This is a quick one. I won't say his name because he's legit crazy.
Right.
So, guy who lived in the fraternity house next to us, I was dating him and I knew, like you, I was like, this is not going anywhere, but whatever, I'm having fun. It's fine. So, we would go to frat parties and stuff together. So I broke up with him. I finally was like, yeah, no more. So the next weekend there was a frat party where we were all, a sorority frat party where we're all going to be in one room.
Yeah.
And he brings another girl to try to make me jealous. Poor attempt. Did not work.
Right.
He gets unbelievably drunk.
Because you didn't get jealous, so he got mad.
Didn't care. Yes. Didn't care at all. He gets horribly mad, freaks out. Starts chasing people with a pair of scissors, comes in my room. This isn't a hotel. It's like a formal, right?
Yeah.
Comes in my room, starts cutting himself, then stabbing the wall. There's
Jesus
blood all over the phone. If my sorority sisters are listening to this, they all witnessed it. There were lots of witnesses. It was nutty. Blood all over the hotel room. Unbelievable. He had to get escorted out. It was the craziest thing.
God, I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to end up like
I
that.
know, right? I've had a few of those. I've had a couple that did not let go.
Right.
Really scary stuff. Like calling 400 times in one night, things like that. Where Gianna had to pick up the phone and was like, listen, bitch, she's not answering for a reason.
Oh, Gianna.
Yeah, Gianna has come in and clutch moments like that many a time. So anyways, hopefully if you have a bad story that makes you feel better, we've all had our fair share, I would say. Those are pretty rough. Who do you think wins?
I think you. Yeah. Oh, come on.
I would say,
just because it was a divorce.
Yeah.
Himself.
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah. At least I didn't get stabbed. So happy ending. All right, you guys. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you next week on the Bonus Bone podcast. Love.